Hi and hello and welcome to another episode of Going Over. I, of course, am Fred Slow, and alongside me is Rusty Rutherford. Rusty,
Yeah.
photographer of Duke City Championship Wrestling, NWA New Mexico, and a million other endeavors, including Phase 1 Pro Wrestling, including concerts and bar mitzvahs and weddings and quinceañeros and glamour shots.
Haven't done a bar mitzvah yet, but I'm ready. If you wanna,
I'll make the jump.
yeah.
I think
Just
I could be.
snip your tip and get you bar mitzvah sized.
Don't know what it entails. I don't know the world. How fortunate you and I are to sit down here at the end of the year and talk about the year in review that was 2025. We're going to do it via the lens that is Rusty Rutherford. So I'm really excited about this. You and I connected offline about how we could celebrate 2025 with an interesting perspective, because it's kind of a fun thing to see promotions do their year-end awards. We could have done something similar to that. And I was going to come up with a bunch of funny ones. I was going to come up with, most likely to be late to the curtain. I was going to do like that kind of. Then I was like,
Slammy Awards style.
100%. Yeah, and I was like, oh, this will catch heat. Like, I'm not trying to. Because there wouldn't be an official vote. It would just be me, it would be that whole thing. And then we were going to do because this is the time of year when every pro wrestler is like now accepting bookings. Like they're not accepting bookings all year long, but now
now's the time. You should do a DCCW 500 where you rank the 500 best wrestlers of DCCW in order.
I think we're over 100 for sure now. But yeah. I do not hate this plan at all.
You'll have to do all of them though. So whoever gets like number 109 will be last.
Yes, the most.
Even though they made the list.
That's great. Also, I know we've built some people that haven't shown up. Like we've had some canceled shows and stuff. So like they also make the list.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have to fill it out. You obviously we could tell your story a little bit, but like stand-up comedian, world of talent and photography, but former manager and worker, right? So like you see pro wrestling through a certain lens. Talk a little bit, Rusty, before we get into the year in review about just how qualified you are to be in the world of pro wrestling and hold the main lens of still photography for Duke City Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, man. Well, I owe it all to Ray Basura. Rest in peace. Such an amazing dude. Got me both into working pro wrestling and working photography professionally. And he wasn't my very first. My first introduction was actually Joe Casada.
Yeah, good dude.
Joe and Drew, they brought me to be the ring announcer for an event in Moody, Texas.
Okay.
Back in the day. And so we drove out to Moody, Texas. We got to Austin the night before to hang out, and our car got broken into, and they robbed all of Casada's gear.
Oh, geez.
And stole his beef jerky. So we were looking for somebody wearing like a wrestling singlet and boots and beef jerky. But I did that as a one-off thing.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, Ray approached me, and he was working on this new Trash King gimmick. And he's like, I want a mouthpiece. I know you like wrestling. I know you could work a mic, and I think you would be perfect to be my mouthpiece for this. So
yeah.
We traveled the Southwest for 2 years. Did a lot here in Albuquerque, a lot in Texas, a lot in Mesa, Arizona. He was the Party Hard champion of the Multiverse for several months. We were on Vice, on Netflix, like a really fun 2-year run. And he retired. I decided I wanted to keep training. I trained at Off the Ropes for a little bit, a few months in with Gino. Did a backflip off the top rope, broke my leg in 4 places. Yeah, I got a metal rod, got a Lex Luger rod in my leg. And at that point I was like, I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
I could be the photographer, and started shooting portraits and then eventually events. And you guys brought me on to do the legit ringside photos, and that's been about 2 years now.
It has, yeah. And the back of the house stuff, we do a lot of captured footage, of production stuff. We do a lot of portrait stuff. All of our headshots we produce, they're all done by you. And, the conversation to have you in was a really short one, because you and we've known of each other. We've been in the same realms or whatever, specifically with our help with some charitable endeavors around town, including Locker 505 and some other stuff. And it was, what individual do we know in this community that's number one, versed in the world of pro wrestling, and number two, talented enough with the camera. And one name came up, it was yours, and it was, I believe at the time, it was brought up by Chris Burnett. I believe Chris Burnett was saying, Rusty is the guy, call Rusty, and that was a real easy one for us. And then, the way that so many indies do very successfully with fan cam footage and a bunch of stuff, they do make a presence online. But I think we can have a match, we can have a live event that lasts 2.5 hours, and you can have those memories forever, but they're supported now in the way that digital media works and the way that social media works, forever. And it was really important to us to make sure we had quality in that world. And we didn't do this last year, so we thought I'd do it this year. But not just are these the official photography photos of Rusty Rutherford at Duke City Championship Wrestling, but these are some ones that you've highlighted from this past year, so we can do a little bit of a year in review. These are Rusty's picks.
Yeah, these are a few of my favorites. You hit me up a couple weeks ago and go through, select a couple dozen. And for each event, I shoot about 16 to 1,800 photos.
Yeah.
And then I edit and turn around about 500 to 600 of those. So the whole year, it was about 5,000 to 6,000 photos.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so I went through and just ones that caught my eye right away, selected them. I know as soon as we finish, I'm like, oh man, I forgot this one and I forgot this one. But these are a few of my favorites from the past year.
I love that. We'll bring them up right now. Also from the live chat, we see you, so feel free to drop in your comments and concerns, and we will address them. Duke City Warriors said that they are a fan of your photography. Also, Giancarlo, who's joining the Duke City Championship Wrestling broadcast team, is also a fan of your work. So how they're here for you.
Yeah.
And we start off with this is about as good. This is intimate, right? You give me how you would describe this thing, but this is about as personal as it can get, bodily fluids and photography.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I've probably been bled and sweat on more taking photos than I have wrestling at this point.
I love it.
I've had in the ring. So dodging bodies, being ringside. I think that's one of the cool things about having worked a couple years is usually I can predict when somebody's about to land on me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm watching when there's other media ringside. I'm like, get ready. That dude's going over. That dude's going over the rope. Dodging bodies.
There's a ton in this photo too. I'll just give you my perspective a little bit. This is obviously more recent because we have I can see the new camera guys here after we partnered with 5 Door Features. Those guys are tremendous as far as the video crew goes. But Hobo Hank, who has 27, 28 years in the industry, and then Ronan, who has less than 1. You know what I mean? And yeah, being able to kind of show the birth of a career here. And, I'm by no means saying that Hobo Hank is in the twilight. I'm not saying that by any means, but the world of experience that he already has, and how fortunate we are that we compare, the juxtaposition of these two guys. Just pretty incredible.
Yeah, totally, man. And I love catching all of Hobo Hank's spit takes, and the El Rey is always lit so well. We have those cool lights, so it really highlights the liquid coming out.
Yeah. Well, and what they do really well, which I appreciate, is there's this gal, her name's Bridget, and she runs all the lighting, and she's there the day before, and she's calibrating and setting everything up, and she does these back of the house runs with you and with Kevin who runs our back of the house production stuff. And they know, who's the baby face and who's the heel and who's coming out and when to light it up white and when to light it up red and when to, do all these things. Without the El Rey, Duke City Championship Wrestling NWA New Mexico is not the product that it is. It is as big a part of the story as anything else.
Such a good spot, man.
Got one here for you. Is it difficult to get the perfect shot, or does it come easy to you, Rusty? That's from Duke City Championship, or excuse me, that's from Duke City Warrior.
It's quantity leads to quality for sporting events, for wrestling in particular. So yeah, I have so many bad shots that no one ever sees, but out of those 10 bad shots, I'll get one good shot. I'm like, all right, this is worth it.
Love it.
Why digital photography is amazing. I'm so glad that digital is a thing now.
We keep rolling through the year in review. What do you got next?
Next up, we got, and these are in no specific order, whatever they want to put them in. Yeah. Some Sky High action. I always love shooting Sky High because, the lucha style, the high flying, being able to capture those is more difficult, than the good headlock grimace. when you're able to get that like shot where they're in the air just right,
Yeah.
really freeze it with a quick shutter speed.
And this is from A Beautiful Thing. I can tell here from the back. And I don't know if we talk about this a ton, but in this photo, you see the Tinytron we have in the back. And a thing we do, and this is a very conscious decision, is during our matches, we make sure to have a visual of the competitors in the ring and their names. And that way, if it's your first time at Duke City Championship Wrestling, you know who's interacting in the ring. And if it's your 100th time at Duke City Championship Wrestling, it's easy to reference that for the friend that you brought or whatever, right? So that's a very purposeful graphic that we put up to make sure the crowd in attendance knows what's going on. And then we're able to even enhance that experience. You see myself and my radio co-host Van Nunley sitting underneath the awning there, and we do a social media live stream as well of a spotlight match every night. And just like you said, how fun it is to shoot Sky High, that's how fun it is to broadcast them on social media, because it is almost impossible in a tag team situation for our social media guy to keep up with his camera, and it is a hoot to go back and watch. So yeah, super good shot here. Charlie 50, he was in the first one, right? He was in the last one. You know, Charlie 50 is a guy, and when we got off the Thursday gimmick and back to Saturdays, we're able to have him a lot more. Yeah, he's the guy who talks to you about matches. Can you a little bit shed any light on what you're looking for in, for instance, like a spot like this?
You know, I'm just, well, okay, so when I was shooting early wrestling, I would get my 1,000 steps in, running around the ring, trying to get every angle. And after a few matches or a few events, I was like, you know, like, I don't have to run around quite as much, because if I'm trying to predict something and run to the other side of the ring,
Yeah,
they're in a different spot anyway. So now I'm like, cool, I can kind of like stay on this corner. I also learned early on with some like high flying stuff, I always have to get the camera lower than I expected.
Yep.
Because I'd have people be like, oh, this is an awesome shot. And then they jump out of frame, even though I thought I had it like wide enough. So yeah, I'm just getting low, and, you know, yeah, watching Charlie, he's definitely a veteran. He definitely knows what he's doing. And, you know, his interacting with the crowd, mean mugging the audience while fighting at the same time, just such a good feel.
I would say some of the best crowd shots you have are people reacting to him. That's no doubt.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you're going to have any marvelous Jaden Monroe, but from his shoot account, you know, a picture everyone wants to see, throw out that pic of Jaden hitting the clothesline. We will see. How about that? We'll see if that made the final year and cut. The marvelous one, Jaden Monroe. All right, what do you got next?
Next up, some more Sky High.
Okay.
This is the same. Yeah, it's the same event.
Definitely the same event. And this
goes to Bam Bam.
And this is Mondo this time, you know, airwise, and then El Grande. And El Grande has got a great story. SBCW is a really great promotion on the east side of Texas. They've been doing the La Migra gimmick for a long, long time. And El Grande had done some stuff with us with Border Wars and worked a gimmick with us in Portales, and had not had an opportunity to be in the historic El Rey Theater until this night. And don't let that mask fool you. I could see his wide eyes when he went out there and saw the 400-ish in attendance, and you know, the energy that is in that room. So guys who's even have done it the years that El Grande has done it, which I believe is 20 plus at this point, you know, there's still something special about that venue. So yeah, super good pick here, my friend.
Yeah. Some more liquid. This is another one's the past 2 events I've gone home covered in beer.
Good.
Completely sober. Covered in beer, and I love this one. Didn't expect this one, didn't see this coming, just in the right place at the right time, and I just love I love this face right here.
Yeah, Brian Idol's you can I'm wearing my television champion shirt. I don't know if anyone can see this.
Yeah,
I got my official NWA merch on. Yeah, Brian Idol is instrumental. He did miss the last show. There was a travel issue, and you don't realize when you lose one of your key cogs to the gear, you know, just, you know, exactly what it means. But, you know, he had a backstage, he had a run in, he had a pull apart, he had a match, you know, and it's okay. Like, let's make this whole thing go around. And this is a really good example. I'm not in camera here, but I'm part of this scenario. And the idea is, for me to come out and everything that's going to happen here, and I blow it, Rusty. Like I miss a cue, and it's a tough spot, and all of these pros that you're looking at figure it out, and it's yeah, and that's that's because they all are professionals and they're trying, and you get this shot that looks like fireflies in the Southwest, and yeah, just a really incredible one.
Yeah, everyone ringside. I mean, all the other guys in here reacting.
This is a fun one here from friend of Duke City Championship Wrestling, Diego Duran. He says they only care about the money more than the fans and the fans' interests. Like DCCW loves the fans and interactions with the fans, like my first show was at Comic Con. I do agree that this is a dual threat kind of energy here from us. We're absolutely trying to put the fans first in every single way, but we do that by reinvest that money into you guys, into into photography and into camera work and into lighting and into all these things that aren't exactly wrestling in the ring. So yeah, kind of a really good note there on if you pay $20 to get in, we want you to get greater than a $20 experience.
Yeah. I got a couple fan shots in here. Oh, here's one right now from our last event. I always love the kids in the crowd.
Yeah, this is a good one too. And this Manny Lemon super fan has been at so many shows, and he is a kid who is not afraid to talk to every single baby face and every single heel. He is a kid who gets up there. He's always there in the front row, and he's good. His family's fun too. Like,
yeah,
and they take the time to say hello. So yeah, super good get right there.
Little homie always mean mugs me, man.
Does he?
Yeah, he thinks I'm a heel. He's like, damn. And that actually makes me think my very first indie show I ever saw was a Texas Wrestling Alliance, Shawn Michaels' organization, back when I was like 15. And I'd been to every WWF that had come to Albuquerque, WCW in Albuquerque, but it was the first time I got to go to an indie show, and it was so cool because I never got to be in like a small, intimate show.
Yeah.
And I remember being up there and somebody in the audience yelling like, "Cameraman, we can't see." And the cameraman like crouched down or moved over. And like, you would never get that at WWF event. And I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. They like listen to you. And so that's, I'm always also like trying to always like move and low and not stand in front of the same person for too long.
I have those conversations because we've had more than a handful of photographers that aren't you. You're the stable, obviously, and everything, but people are excited about getting in the industry, or a lot of young talent is kind of what we bring in to give them an opportunity. And whenever we do that little brief on them before, that's what we say is, hey, you got to be small. You got to be small in the corners. You can't live in one spot the whole time because there's a fan who paid to be right there behind you. Also, if the talent's looking at the camera, it's because they know the camera's there. Like, take advantage of it. Like, you're gonna get some good ones. So, all right, what do you got next?
Bamo. This is from this past gig as well. Got a little choke action. Mr. Never Cheats himself.
Yeah, Matthew Robles is an interesting character, and good work here. Him and Manny Lemons, obviously the rich connection they have from Utah, but there are a handful of talent on the roster that really take advantage of the photos that you create, Rusty. Talk a little bit about how important it is to, in a timely manner, get these images to the people that are going to utilize them.
Yeah, well, it's such a cool thing. As a performer too, I do stand-up comedy, and I like so rarely have like really cool photos of me, and I appreciate it so much. Like, even if it is a cell phone photo, or I see people filming my sets in the crowd a lot, which some comics are like, don't film me, people haven't seen. I love it. I'm like, film it, share it, somebody will see me. But 90% of the time I never see those clips that get recorded from an audience member. And like, every now and then when I'm lucky enough to have like a professional photographer or just a fan in the audience in the photo, it's such a cool thing. And so I think that's like awesome, for you guys to bring me and these other photographers in that are able to give these wrestlers pro photos. And I mean, MK, another dude he's an asshole, so much knowledge, so much knowledge of the business, like works the mic, knows how to get the crowd to hate him, knows when to work the crowd, knows when to work the camera. Like, dude knows what he's doing. Love him or hate him.
From the live chat, Gian says that he will start filming you, Rusty, even outside of the shows, So there's a net positive win for you on this one.
Thank you, Gian.
Yeah,
First time I met Gian, I was taking wrestling portraits of him. I had never met the dude, and he shows up to my house in his tights.
Love it.
Yeah.
Just jumped out of whatever girlfriend's car he was driving, and he was like, "Here I am. I'm a pro wrestler."
All the baby oiled up.
I don't know if you have any of the headshots or portfolios in here or whatever, but that's a big part of our production that people are excited about. Especially the guys that are coming through the Thungeon, or guys who have trained locally, you know what I mean, where they haven't had an opportunity to really create that stuff and, to put a bow on the other photographer part. It's interesting whenever other photographers that we worked with, and I can name them, but, whenever they send me, their shots, they don't look like your shots. Maybe it's a different shutter speed, or maybe it's a different, maybe the iris is open a little different. Maybe there's, so it's very fun to get like, the different perspective on what pro wrestling is all the time. So I really like that variation, going from what you regularly supply to the surprise of what like a newcomer can bring.
Yeah. Different styles, different looks.
Hey, you ever seen anyone hotter than Lonzo?
Man, the first time I've seen somebody get a pop like Lonzo was 2 Scoops. The first time I saw 2 Scoops at DCCW.
Yeah, I think there's 3 of them, and at the very first Hobo Hank, the opening night versus Charlie 50, with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, obviously 2 Scoops when he made his debut, and then Lonzo when he made his debut. And that's a big part of the, because those are all local talents. Local talents draw local fans.
Totally.
And you give those guys a chance. And same thing here with Triste. Triste lives in Santa Fe, but he's a guy who's gotten really good at pro wrestling over the last 2 years, and and we do plan on having him regularly. If he'll have us, and he's a guy who goes out there and wears all white but wrestles all bad. And this is a super good look here.
He works, man.
Is it funny to shoot? Go back one real quick. Is it funny to shoot with Kyle as the referee because he's so damn tall?
Oh man, so I love Kyle's expressions, and like even this one. Zoom in a little. Bam, he's just always like in it. He's invested. He's watching.
When I do
for a ref,
when I do the commentary, I always talk about how he's just trying to keep the guys from fighting.
Yeah,
like there he is trying to break them up again.
Break it up, guys. The PE teacher dad comes over.
This is the best story I think we got right here. This kid,
man, some of these dudes are as fun walking to the ring as they are in the ring. Like it's fun to watch him interact with the crowd. One of the first times I saw him was at the state fair during the state fair gimmicks.
Oh, he shined.
Yeah, man, just like people who don't normally go to wrestling events, but they're like, oh, there's a ring. Like, let's sit down and watch this wrestling at the fair, and just watching Johnny work those people, get them to hate him. And
there's 150 things going on every day, on a show day, and Johnny Magna, who's also like a top 10, ranked power slapper in the world, like he's a combat sports guy.
Yeah, knocking people out.
Yeah, which is incredible. And he's got a pro wrestling persona when he does it, and he came to me, I'm gonna say a little over 2 years ago. There was like a house show with Raw, right? So, or not Raw, WWF, WWE. So there's a house show, and I'm gonna say Johnny. So Johnny, was a collegiate rugby player, and Johnny, was a real athlete, and he came out with the Albuquerque Aardvarks. We were doing some stuff with the rugby team, and that was when we were talking about starting the pro wrestling. He's like, I love to be a part of it. I want to be a pro wrestler, and he found an outlet to train on his own, which was really great, and he started learning the industry, and then he started showing up, and kind of the way you sidekick a guy, and then you kind of working forward. But he went over for me, and you won't have any of the photos because you weren't there, in Portales when he had to pull double duty for us because one of our performers just couldn't show. So he opened the night, and then he closed the night out versus Hobo Hank. And, he carried his story the whole way, and he's a character and a performer. But what got me was he had found a gal in the audience, Rusty, and she was college kid, college kid, and she was very pretty, and she was very black, and she was just had a big personality, and the whole time he was just calling her brown sugar, and he was telling her like how he was like, he was ready to like help her bake a cake, and it was the funniest stuff I ever saw. And I go, this is a top of the card guy. Like,
Yeah.
And again, Albuquerque talent,
His first match, man, I was there when he wrestled Saleh.
Yeah.
And just right then I was like, man, this dude's got something. Like his charisma, his energy in the ring, having been brand new, never stepped into a ring in front of a crowd before, and take on the guy like Saleh. Like from that moment on, I was a fan.
Well, and talk about fans playing the part, like Leo Martinez right here, who owns Duke City Toys. Like there is a bunch of familiar faces, at all of these things. And Delaney Orberg is right there. She's a photographer we brought in. She used to be the photographer for Eastern New Mexico University. She now does some stuff at a JC in Colorado, but she's a gal too who saw Johnny perform and knew, like that's the face to embrace, what's going to surround him. So
yeah.
Super good shot.
And again, just I love like he's flipping his hair right here, getting the audience wet, and again, just that shine, that backlight on the hair.
Yeah, incredibly good.
Here's another one from that match. Kicking Valak in the head.
Yeah, this is
a kick.
Well, and Valak is, I think, the best character we have on the roster.
I love the gimmick. I love the gimmick.
Yeah. Up until 2 matches ago, he had never missed a show. And then we end up scheduling the October date because, we're going every 6 weeks now. So we end up scheduling it, and he comes to me, he goes, my sister's getting married, man. He's like,
that's no excuse.
Yeah, he's like, I can't. And I'm like, well, is it an afternoon wedding? Like, what can we do here? And he was.
Do they want wrestling at the wedding?
Yeah. So him, me, Hobo Hank. I think the list is real short after that. Carl or Thunder. There's only you might be the only guy now who's made every show. You know what I mean? Like
I missed the first couple. I jumped on like the third one. I think was my first one.
There we go.
Yeah, and me and Valak traveled together. We were part of Ray's entourage, so he was one of the squires. So we spent a lot of time together. Sometimes in hot tubs and tow trucks. And here's another spit take. Had to get some more of those.
Yeah, this is good. It is. It's an iconic one for Hobo Hank. It's that and Pity City, or Pit Stop as he calls it.
Yeah. I was talking to Chelsea after this show, Chelsea Dotson, and I was like, I think this is the first show where I don't have photos of you dripping wet. And she's like, I'm so glad I'm not covered in beer or spit this show. I should have got some of those photos. Those are some of my faves.
All right, here's one of the broadcast team. Oh, this is a good shot here.
I had to show that crew.
Yeah, there's big personalities all around.
Yeah.
And, and bringing on Royal, I thought was a pretty good decision, it doesn't always have to be, Saleh on the microphone, with the For Sale group. And then as far as the indies go, I don't know if there's a better combo than Burnett and Fernando. I don't know if there is. Those guys are great.
Yeah. Well, and I've known all three of these dudes definitely predating DCCW days. I've been buddies with these guys through different worlds. Stand up with Royal, and I know both of the other dudes for over a decade, probably. Little Albuquerque. It's fun to see everyone come together and just become pro wrestlers, pro wrestling adjacent.
From the live chat, why not Pity City Express? That's clever. I'm going to use that.
Pity City Express, yeah.
Hey, this is a good one here. So we've had some day oneers. There have been some fans that have, predate fandom of pro wrestling in Albuquerque before Duke City Championship Wrestling. And, this is a really good example of it here where I didn't know all the history of fans with certain performers and with the referees or otherwise. But the Damn It Kyle thing is kind of caught its own life.
Yeah. Does he have Damn It Kyle merch? Because
Yes.
he needs it. He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if not, he has it trademarked. Like he is that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he full on embraces it, and like I said, not to name every single fan individually, but the ones that have made the effort to not just be at the shows, but be early or contribute. Like you're very aware. We've had conversations with fans that are, hey Freddie, I love the product, but maybe money's a little tight this month. Well, great, show up early. Let's set up some chairs or do whatever. Like, we will figure it out. Like if cash is the only obstacle, we will find an outlet. I promise.
Totally.
I like this a lot. There's a lot of talent in this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Renegade Ricky Rebel, who recently kicked out of a really tough situation, and was backstage at the last show, so we loved having him there, which was really great. And this was a good spot. This was interesting storytelling because you don't necessarily know how to do that. Everyone's a bad guy is a bad guy, or everyone's a good guy is a good guy. It can come from any angle. So yeah, super good job here. Kind of, capturing a lot of storytelling in one picture.
Yeah, just seeing them all interact. Two shots from this match.
Yeah,
one of the big scoops. The tag team division in DCCW is one of my favorite parts, man. So much talented.
Oh, look at that crowd too. Good job on that one.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, you're not usually at that spot on the ring, so that's a good get right there. The Pretty City Express, and is that Tony right there?
Yeah, that Tony in the air.
Yeah, Pretty City Express has got a real opportunity here. We've had lots of conversations about them with NWA. They the eyes are on them, and I think them holding the title super helps a lot, but these guys have had some bangers. And this tag division, you talked about Sky High earlier, obviously La Migra, obviously, what, For Sale is doing. But there's a lot of times when we put a lot of bodies in that ring and they put on shows.
Yeah. Here's a little Jade and Shove.
Yeah, this is a good one right here. That's the NWA Women's Champion. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Nova. She
just won NWA Woman Star of the Year.
Yeah, and she was in the match of the year. I mean, she's the face
cage
of the
match.
face.
Was that the cage match?
Yeah. Against Nieves, and I mean, all those super fun. Did the Jericho Cruise. Has been a friend to me as far as the knowledge of the business. Just a top tier professional. And it's not my story to tell her story, but opportunity is always like knocking at her door, and her loyalty to the NWA and the fans that surround it means the world. And then the inaugural women's champion right there, the Enchanted Champion herself, Zamaya. And then Marvelous Monroe is a whole character in himself. And then and you put in the background there, Matthew Robles with the wrapped up head. I think he made 4 appearances that night, and every time he just kept getting more beat up. And there's a lot.
I have a close up of him coming up too. I think with that head bandage. Here's that same match.
Yeah, this is that mixed tag.
Yeah, this was so fun just to see this variety of talent in the ring.
Well, look at the crowd too. Like, they're all on their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, good little look here. This was that tag team match because Zamaya and Jaden, they're like a shoot couple. So it was if one's bad, the other one's got to be bad. And and then Hobo Hank working with Natalya, just a lot of trust there from the best woman wrestler in the world in Hobo Hank.
Yeah. And this hobo that lives behind Frontier Restaurant.
Yeah, this is
faces, man.
Mm-hmm.
That solid tongue.
And he was on the broadcast with me for some time. We were trying to figure out exactly what to do with Saleh when he was, getting back into wrestling shape. Because he he took 20 years away from the industry or something. He's an actor, he's a musician, he's all these things. And then when we put wrestling in his backyard, I don't think there's anything we could have done, Rusty, to keep him away from it, and obviously now standing as the champion, and, a similar but different story, with the Renegade Ricky Rebel, where, he was a rugby player too, and he was a guy who was excited about getting in the industry and started training on his own, and then, made the jump over to the Thungeon and has just made gigantic strides. And like I said, excited to have him back, if that time presents itself. But similar story, a whole bunch of Albuquerque talent right there in the ring. Just how great.
Just saw Saleh on Pluribus, the new Apple
was he
TV
on it?
So yeah, I was like, hey, Saleh.
I watched it. I don't think I saw him.
Yeah, he's in there, one of the 3rd or 4th episodes. I also love this. Zoom in here. Bammo.
Yeah, that's so funny. That little gal there was so funny too.
Yeah, she's awesome. All her signs. Here's another power slapper.
Yeah, and if you don't know the end of this one, this photo tells a different story than what occurred.
Yeah, I should have put that photo too. I didn't.
Yeah, but this, Chelsea Datsu's, like we mentioned, power slapper. Yeah, this is a blown attempt on the Renegade Ricky Rebel, and I believe Matthew Robles catches it across the chin here, unless I'm wrong.
Yep.
I mean,
nope, you're right. Correct.
Oh, how great!
This one I like, man. I forgot about this photo, but I like just one of those accidents sometimes, like where I missed focus on the hand instead of the faces, and I'm like, man, I like that. That's a cool shot.
Well, is that Justin Taylor?
Yeah. I hope we get that guy back someday, dude, man. That dude also had so much charisma.
Yeah, he's top tier.
Yeah.
I'll spoil a little bit here. We're about to, embark on a pretty good little partnership with NWA Texas, work on some stuff. And, Justin is regularly down in San Antonio with Dog Pound. So, so look to see more of him in 2026 with Duke City Championship Wrestling. He's a top tier dude.
Yeah, man. He was fun to watch. There it is.
Yeah.
There's that wrapped up mean mug.
He's so weird.
Yeah.
Then it's only tape. Like there's no gauze there. There's no, there's no pre-tape or whatever. It's just right on his head. He's so funny. Yeah, I went to WrestleMania with him last year for some stuff, and it's so funny to walk around like a WrestleCon or to walk around like some of these indie shows or some of these industry parties. Because what am I, 6'6"? I'm a big boy, and I'm small compared to Matthew Robles in certain settings, and the buildings, it just collapses on him. Like every person, every fan, every worker, they all have a connection to him. And then, some of them might know who I am, but a lot of them don't. They go, they're like, hey, is this your newest talent? And it's like, I don't have a
He was the first dude that ever chopped me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was backstage in the locker room, and it was like probably my 2nd or 3rd show, and just bam, big old handprint on my chest. Like, all right, I'll wear this. So many of
that's the first guy that ever chopped me right there.
Yeah.
It was for a TV spot. It was before our first show. NBC at KOB had come out and they wanted a chop, so he threw me in the corner and he put my shirt on my head like I'm a hockey player, and then they put the right there on TV.
Yeah, that's great, man. You seen his Vice special?
Yeah,
so good. If you guys haven't watched it, just YouTube, I think Vice Hobo Hank, and there's like a 15-minute documentary on the dude.
Yeah. Hey, here's a great suggestion from Two Scoops himself. If Justin Taylor were to come in from San Antonio and we had to defend the city of Albuquerque, the Duke City, against someone, no one would represent better than Two Scoops.
Man, I would love to see those two.
Yeah.
Dog collar match.
Hey, speaking of Two Scoops, he wears wrestling. He's got a Duke City Championship Wrestling hoodie on in the background right there. He wears wrestling gear every time I see him.
Yeah.
He's got every guy. He's got every company. He is constantly repping. So how funny that is.
I saw someone in a 2-scoop shirt at my gym the other day.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Not to
one.
brag, but I
Yeah.
do go to a gym.
I saw one at the Goodwill off Montano and Coors.
Oh, is it still there?
No, I took it. It's mine now. It looks here like Matthew Robles one time at EWO, he flipped him off and he was called an MFer. So
Robles also had a shoot fight with Stephan Bonnar at DWO. Stephan Bonnar, the late UFC fighter.
Yeah,
so I'm
boy.
a huge UFC fan, huge MMA fan, and that night I got to meet Stephan Bonnar and Raven, the same card, and Robles and Bonnar like grappled in the ring for 5 or 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, they could roll.
This one I like just because I've never seen Hobo Hank happier than
Yeah.
in this moment. So happy.
Well, the amount of work he puts in behind it all. We have our one day of wrestling a month or every 6 weeks, but it's the other 30 days of the month. And I'm a little bit to blame for this too, but the effort he puts in, the effort I put in, and Fernando puts in, and just the amount of try, and it's a big deal, and Aaron and Darren, they have other aspects of what we do, but it's sometimes you get to be in the middle of it as it pays off, and I think this is a good example.
Yeah, man, lots of no sleep weekends. I acted in a short film with Fernando about a year ago, and it was right around the time that the state fair shows were going on.
Yeah,
a year and a half ago, I guess. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'm working super late at a club, coming in the morning to film this, and then going straight from here to the fair to do commentary at the fair. Like, you guys hustle, man."
I only did one fair day last year, 2 years ago. So also, this is a whole nother story, but we weren't able to do the state fair this year. It does look like some of the laws are going to be modified to make that stuff easier, which is great. Thank you to the State Athletic Commission for that. But I only did the one day out there, and it was about as much fun as I've ever had professionally.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, fun gigs.
This
one. So this is a 3-parter. Bam.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so this is the Tornado DDT off the rope to Charlie 50 into the trash can, and this was the birthday gimmick. And it was so funny. I was so nervous for this show when I came out because we got the hexagon ring. So I went and bought the hexagon ring from a guy in what's the name of that town? What's the name of the most southern town in Arizona?
Juarez?
No, it's almost that though. I'm going to tell you real quick. Let's say like Bigsby. I'm going to say it was like Bigsby, Arizona.
Doug Stanhope's hometown is Bigsby.
Yeah, that's where it was. So it was in Bigsby. Yeah, Bisbee, Arizona. So I drive down to Bisbee, Arizona, right? And it was the day after my 40th birthday. So my brother's in town, and I just literally on Facebook Marketplace, hexagon ring, right? And I'm like, what are the odds? Like, so we hop in the truck, drive down to Bisbee, pick this bad boy up, and I'll go, we're only going to use it one time. It's gonna be for this birthday bash gimmick. So I knew the story of the ring, I knew all the work I put into it. I go out in how I start the show, bring them out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited about the birthday bash that I forget to mention that we have the hexagon ring. We just start the show with it. Like I didn't bring anything up. I didn't smarten the audience up. It was just we're wrestling in a hexagon tonight.
This is what we do. I also love, man, Hobo Hank, no matter where he is in the move, like his face, he's always just got this. He looks like a Garbage Pail Kid all the time. Like, man.
Yeah, he's not the young luchador he used to be.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a good one here.
Yeah, so watching these four work together, man, there's just so much athleticism in the ring on top of the charisma and crowd work. And even though Turbo Tony's an asshole now,
Yeah, he's the worst.
eh,
I remember when he came out in that gear, it's all quads, right? So it was like right before he's like coming out through the curtain, he's in the back doing like dips.
yeah,
You're like, okay, yeah, no, you look
building
good.
those, building those quads up.
Hey, this kid here's got some talent, right? This Enrique Calderon.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then this is a good angle here too. So obviously you're going past Manny Lemons to the action in the ring, which is really great. We have another photographer here on the other side of the ring getting, the exact opposite. But yeah, both these cats are from Arizona, so they come over and wrestle for us, a lot. And Calderon has made such an impression here. I know he's regularly wrestling in SBCW now too, so he's not just penetrated our market, but he's moved through. So this is a good shot.
yeah. Here's one of him flying.
Mm-hmm. Look at the crowd too; they're ready for it. Hey, I'm a fan right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented female wrestlers, in pro wrestling. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is when we for the first time the Enchanted Championship. This is when we crowned our very first one. Is that correct?
yeah. This was the main event
Yeah.
of the night. The 5-person.
Yeah. So Mascara, who was in Colorado, now is in New Mexico. And I don't know if she's worked an event anywhere since. I think it's been a little bit. She's got a pretty important shoot job, but yeah, it was. I was calling her. I was like, hey, she'd been with us earlier, obviously, and made a really big impression. I was like, I love. Same thing with Lilith Grimm, where I was like, hey, I don't want to do this thing without you two, like you two specific, and Markova and Zamaya, and then was Fallen Gray the other one? I don't remember who the other competitor was, but yeah, this was a good night.
Yeah, this was pre-Fallen, I believe. Oh, nope. Maybe it was Fallen because I think this.
It was their second. It was their second appearance, first match. Because
Okay.
we had her in, and she cut a promo on the first one, and there was some back of the house stuff because it's a commission state, to where they had not processed some paperwork or something in time, and it was okay. We'll figure it out. But because of, and again, this is the amount of talent we have, Rusty, because we were able to figure it out on that previous show with cutting the promo. It made sense for her to be here. So she came out, and I think she's still winless in Duke City Championship Wrestling. I don't think she's had a match.
Man, one of these days, Fallen. Yeah, here's Lilith's. I love her ring intro.
Yeah,
getting those sparks flying.
I put this 5-way women's match in any indie across the country. It can hang.
It was great, man. It was such a good match, top to bottom. I have several photos from that. This was right after she had secured the win.
Yeah, the inaugural and only to this point Enchanted Champion, and what a year for her too, right? Like, yeah, just a transformation character-wise, a transformation physically, a transformation professionally. Yeah, she is. Zamaya is top tier. She got an opportunity with NWA Chicago. Like, she is. Yeah, she's doing that thing.
Yeah, I got to. The first time I shot her portraits backstage, she came down for phase 1. And I remember I told her, I was like, I was so excited to shoot you because I'd seen some of her promo pics leading in. I'm like, oh, she's so fun to shoot. Just the look, the intensity, the hair.
Yeah, she's a good dude.
It was just a crowd shot. This, I believe, is that same night. I believe this is like right after that title win by Zamaya, if I remember right. Yeah, so many shots at the crowd.
Well, and that's the thing you and I talked about early, because the performers in the ring, the El Rey itself, but the crowd, like those 3 or 4 elements are in every single match, and that's the thing we say to the crowd before we start TV tapings is, hey, you are part of this. Like, cheer and jeer.
They're the third person or the fourth person, or I get friends to come that have never seen pro wrestling. that'll be like, yeah, I'll come check it out, support, and then they fall in love because they're like, I had no idea that's what it was like. Like
Mhm.
you're part of the show. You're not just watching theater. You are a character in the play. Yeah, this little
There's some athleticism here.
yeah. Here's some more.
Yeah, deserved.
Yeah.
And not afraid to get like as close to a human being as you possibly can is Johnny Magna. Like,
yeah.
yeah, there was a fan at the last show when Johnny had come out and he was jarring with the fan. I was on commentary. Fernando, not to put his business out there, but he had the COVID, so I had to jump over to commentary, and which is a big reason why we're bringing Gian in, because I can't do commentary every time we have to have commentary. So whenever Johnny comes out, they're jarring, right? It's like this, and then Johnny does a flip of the hat on him, and the guy, he can't handle this.
Yeah.
So I go over at intermission. I'm like, hey brother, thanks for being front row, thanks for being part of the show. And he, something to the extent of he doesn't play that or something of that nature. I go, well, here you do. This is what pro wrestling is. Like you,
especially if you're gonna sit in the front row, man.
Yeah, you do play this.
Yeah. Can't go to a stand-up show and expect the comedians not to talk to you. Same with pro wrestling.
And this fan is so smart, turning the hat around. Can't get you that.
Yeah. And Magna's done a couple of my comedy shows too.
He's funny.
Dabbles in some stand-up. It's a nice super kick. I think I have both of the shots on here too. Yeah,
this is great.
just those bam and bam.
And Javi's a cool story because Javi was an NXT guy. Obviously, was under the WWE umbrella, and when he was let go, he had a 90-day, and we had him booked to be the first show after the 90-day. Like we were going to be the return to the Indies for him, and then that venue canceled on us, so it ended up messing up, us having him first, and he ended up, wrestling some other shows before he came out first. But I still felt like, he was going to be a contributor, and up until, like I said, the Renegade Ricky Rebel is kicking out of a tough situation right now. But the plan was to have them do a 3-part series, and it was, do it 3 times in a row and, see who's the best. But this super kick's the best one I've ever seen in Duke City Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I would rival it only with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
That dude's got a kick as well.
He won't be in the 2025 photos. So
He won't. I almost brought an honorable mention now that he's signed. Here's a little Flying Thunder action.
Yeah, this is a good one too. Yeah, this was an interesting tag team because Calderon and Thunder had never worked together. So so to put them out there for the first time against Pretty City Express, just a bunch of pros out there.
Yeah. Here's a good one.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't know if you remember this.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you had just gotten slapped pretty hard.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of a beat down, and I had taken a power slap from Chelsea Dotson, which you can see knocked my shoe off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was such a funny bit. I'm laying there, dead in the ring or whatever. Everyone's coming over to help me, and I actually fall through these ropes. And then there's a lot of we all know the tricks, right? But there's a lot of the checks, and it's boys, my shoe's gone. Somebody grab my shoe.
Where is it? That's great.
Knocked my shoes off. That's so funny.
This one.
Did you get some likes?
This one I had to screenshot the Instagram.
Yeah.
This is my most liked photo of 2025.
Pretty good.
A lot of talented athletes, DCCW, a lot of high flying, a lot of like really cool shots. But then you get a beautiful lady up there and 8,000. The reason it really has so many likes is that she posted it on her page and collaborated, because I don't have this many followers.
Yeah, she special talent. We got about 6 minutes here left. I'm gonna drive for a second. So I just pulled up our Instagram, going back to the first of the year, right? So not all these are you. These are not all you. we've had a lot of contributors. There's some fan stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, but I just wanted to roll through it real quick, and
Yeah.
just get any reactions you have to any of this kind of stuff. Like, so for instance, like these promo pics, or if it's, some of these other ones we put on where it's, what screams to you attention?
And I love the variety. I love being able, like, because we have different photographers and different videographers, and like you're always seeing kind of different styles. You're seeing something new. You got these like Polaroid shots and different layouts, and so hopefully fans don't get bored, because you're not getting the same shots. You're getting there's the man himself.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
There's if you scroll through a couple, I think there's a really good Canadian destroyer shot. If I posted on this one,
Yeah.
or this might just be my
But I don't see
to highlight. But yeah, Hobo Hank hit that Canadian destroyer, and
I lost it on the broadcast.
yeah, it's a great match, man.
This was I know this is not the best, but this is when Hobo Hank made his debut on NWA, which was just super cool. God, we've had some growth here, haven't we?
Yeah.
We need to figure out a way. There's more Damn It Kyle stuff. This is a funny thing here. For some reason, abqmom.com had said that I was the radio personality of the year.
abqmom.com. All right.
we dove into that one for sure. Just a world of talent throughout this whole thing. And then, you get a bunch of like fun stuff too, of like, like here's a guy, like, I know this is a video, but it's, we've had guys who haven't been in every show contributor, but, they come out and, Wild makes an impression, and in the second way I'm back, he won't have been forgotten.
Yeah.
The crowd will recall and be excited. So, this
was at Comic-Con, I think, was his first one.
Yeah, this was a great one. Yeah, just terribly embarrassed. So fun. Yeah. Hell of a year.
Yeah.
Way to do it. Way to always support and be a part of it. And thank you for sitting down with me for this, because I don't really know what we're doing in the world of pro wrestling outside of trying. And if I think as long as we surround ourselves with enough really talented people, we can make this, and diverse people too. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many ways to make pro wrestling. John Dotson, obviously his wife Chelsea is a part of this, but just a big supporter. And
such cool dudes, man. So many cool people. And it's just great to have it back in New Mexico. We had so long, everyone from here had to travel to Texas and Arizona and Colorado and beyond to wrestle.
And it's given me some opportunities. I don't necessarily know if we talk about this ton, but I'm in Philadelphia in this photo for the Crockett Cup, at ECW Arena, and that's an NWA lapel pin, where they're like, "Hey, Fred, you're part of the brand, like you're helping,"
One of us.
and it's like, that was a super cool one for me. Here's one: Manny Lemon's getting the opportunity on AEW here in Rio Rancho, and the crowd knew him, Yeah, just wild. And this girl is so pretty, like does not struggle to take a photo. That was one of the ones you picked out too.
Yeah.
This is Tiffany Nieves, and she teamed with Hobo Hank at a gimmick at Cannon Air Force Base in Clovis. And it was about as fun as anything we've ever seen, so God, isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's on a t-shirt. That's on her t-shirt.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That was fun to shoot that event too, because it was outside and there's so many lights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much natural light. Like inside, you got to adjust camera settings, and I love that shot. That first one.
Yeah, just really good. And this was an interesting gimmick because it was the summer solstice, hottest day of the year. And
so hot.
This tarp is a cattle tarp. So this is what you put up at the farm to shade your cattle. And we
Oh,
ran it from the building to the other side of the trailer, to block off the ring and the fans. And I thought it worked out incredibly well. Like it was,
yeah, diffuse the sun nicely, just from a photo perspective, so it wasn't blown out bright.
gosh, and we tried to wash the ring after this. It was so gross. Oh, that's a good shot right there too.
Got that belt, that women's title.
You're that guy, Rusty.
Yeah, it's been a blast thus far.
This was a neat day. I was hosting a Comic-Con thing, and this gal here used to be in the WWE. Her name's Soraya, and it was not difficult to say to her, like, hey, talk about everything you've done professionally, but also like give me some tips on the indies, and because we have this really incredible product, people are willing to contribute. So
Yeah.
a whole bunch of good gear. Well, Rusty, you're simply the best, brother. I'm glad we got to sit down and
Thanks, man.
do a little bit of year in review. Give me your final thoughts on 2025 and let me know what you're looking forward to in 2026.
Yeah, it was great, man. We should do this more. When you hit me up, I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna go through 6,000 photos. And then I waited until like today. I'm like, okay, I better start. And so now I'm like, man, I have so many good ones of like Turbo Tony and Manny Lemons and all these ones. Like I haven't, because I just went through and like this one jumped, this one jumped. So yeah, let's make this a regular thing. Do it after events.
I don't hate it at all. Also, like, here's how talented Rusty is. Like, look how good looking this guy is.
Man, that took a lot of Photoshop.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Getting my veneers helped. That was a big part to my
success. Showing those up.
From the live chat, Francisco says, truly enjoys every moment with DCCW. Yes, Francisco, that is absolutely true. From Duke City Warriors, Soraya, and DCCW, we had the talk. We'll see if anything ever comes of it. I do know we plan to get together at WrestleCon this year, so we'll see. I never try to promise anything. I also try to never spoil anything. So if the time comes, yes. Rusty, if anyone wants to connect with you, because it's been asked a lot, what's the best way to find you and find your services?
Yeah, so photo stuff on Instagram. I'm Rusty R Creative 2. Facebook, Rusty Rutherford. If you like the stand-up side, if you want to see that world of me, Rusta Rhymes 2 on Instagram. My Facebook has all of it. So yeah, hit me up on there. I'm still getting my website back up. I'm redoing that, so that'll be up eventually. But for now, Instagram and Facebook, track me down.
You're the best, brother.
Thanks. Look forward to February
7th. Yeah. And then there's a ton going on. I would encourage everyone to not miss. That's what I would encourage. Also, new Duke City Championship Wrestling episode is going to drop, I think, tomorrow. So, yeah, you can catch up on all the latest at the YouTube outlet, which is youtube.com/@DCCW, or just go to watchdccw.com. Obviously, check out the website, check out everything else involved for Rusty Rutherford. Let me start that one over. For Rusty Rutherford and for myself, Fabulous Freddie Fame. Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.